empowering individuals and groups to embrace their authentic selves, trust their truth, see life as an adventure, and use compassion and joy as their compass. This is the heart of Aimée's work. Ladies and gentlemen, Aimée Alley.
Well, we just got back from break, so just to bring everybody together, what I'd like you to do is, if you feel comfortable, is to place your hand over your heart. And I want you to breathe with me. We're going to inhale for the count of 7. We're going to inhale for the count of 4, hold it for the count of 7, and then we're going to exhale for the count of 8. Okay? Here we go. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Now hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you. That puts us in a rhythm that brings us all together here in the room. Nothing like Mama Bear being taught to stand in her power. I'm 6.5 months pregnant, and I'm feeling pretty healthy. I go in to see my doctor, and after the exam, he tells me that the baby isn't growing on schedule. Okay. What does that mean? He said, we're going to have to get some ultrasound and see what that looks like. So I go and I get my ultrasound and come back into the doctor's office, and we sit down, and he said, yep, that confirms it. Baby's not growing on schedule. Your amniotic fluid, it's not keeping up with the growth of the baby either. Okay, what does that mean? I don't know. He said, but that puts you in the high-risk category. You don't know, that puts me in the high-risk category. Okay. He said, yeah, we're just going to have to monitor you a little closely. So I go home, and whoa, high-risk pregnancy. This is my 3rd pregnancy, been through this before. Everything feels good. I feel good. So I go into my first ultrasound, come back, my 2nd one, and my 3rd, and my 4th. And at the same time, I'm going back in to see my doctor. And I am being asked some of the weirdest questions, like, does dwarfism run in my family? I'm 5'10". Is this baby going to fully develop? It was too late for an amniocentesis. Is he even going to survive? So I go home, focus on my other 2 children and my life. And you know how that mother's instinct, parents have the same instinct. We get this connection with our kids, but there was something going on with this baby. It was like he was so deeply connected to me. And I just had this feeling he would be okay. He gave me strength. He reminded me that there was something in me that we were going to get through this. But then I go back to the doctors, have another ultrasound, go visit the doctor, more weird questions. So this process, this roller coaster that I was on, I was learning to trust myself, this instinct, this connection that I had with my baby. The faith that I was drawing on from everybody around me, and my connection to spirit. But then I'd go back to the doctor's office, and they'd ask me, they would measure, and it was just the most confusing time without a lot of answers. In this world, we're taught to trust everybody else but ourselves. Parents, priests, popes, principals, President of the United States. But we're not taught in this culture to think about trusting who we are. So this was the roller coaster I was on week in and week out after the 18th ultrasound. The doctor, I don't even have a tech anymore. I have a doctor in the room. He looks at me and says, can we make this a case study? Can we keep going? And you know what I heard? Do you want to be my test dummy? I said, no. I was so angry at that point. I was so mad. I went straight to my OBGYN's office and said, I'm off this ride. No more. I'm done. No more questions. If this baby's going to survive, should we have this birth now? What's the decision? Because I'm taking control. I'm off this ride. He was a little shocked. October 14th, 1993, Matthew was born. He was in the NICU unit for 2 weeks, but the litany of things that he was born wrong with him began to fade away. And we went home. 3 months later, Matthew's back in the hospital with infant RSV, or commonly known as infant pneumonia. Another roller coaster. Another situation of where, who do I trust? The medical community or myself, or the people that are supporting us in this situation. I get a break on the 8th day. I take some time away. I get some counsel. I meditate. I pray. And I realize that Matthew has a choice in this situation. He's been holding me up and putting me in a place of strength to do anything for him. But there's something I need to talk to him about. So we had a talk. So I walk into the hospital room, and over here in the corner is my husband, Ken, reading the newspaper. And I walk up to the crib, and Matt's sound asleep. And I turn him to face me, and just about when I'm ready to talk, he opens his eyes and he looks at me. Big blue eyes. But I lean over this kid. I am angry. I am frustrated. So I put my hands on both sides of him, and I let him have it. Matthew Rand Alley, you get in your body now and be here now. Your dad, your sister, and your brother and I want to go home and start our lives. So be here, get in your body, and get healthy, and let's go home. My husband about fell out of his chair. He thought, what am I doing yelling at a little baby? But I was loud. I did not hold back. He heard me. 2 days later, we went home with a tank of oxygen and a 50-foot cord, but we went home. Who in your life has pushed you to become the mama bear, or just the bear in general? To stand in your power and own your truth.